This is part two to my story. You know, I think I went into depth somewhat, but there were some missing and
there were some missing pieces. You know,
missing information that a lot of people are not fully aware.
Yeah, this is my chance to clown him. But yeah.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. This is gonna be your 25 minute of fame. So,
all right, so
yep.
So
I have to start from the beginning. So tell everyone that don't know, because not a lot of people know who I am. Because I keep my life pretty much private. So
I mean, like, are you trying to get into like how you couldn't hold a job or like?
Start. This is raw, man. Like, this is raw.
All right, so let's go back to the East Coast days where you were in Wake Up Now, all that.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
So this dude.
But tell us about you though, because you have been on a journey with him as well.
Oh yeah, like.
So,
but we would always.
But the journey didn't start. I don't want him to talk from like.
No, I'm not gonna even talk about that part. I'm gonna just get into like the part where like you know, started trading, because like that's when it started like waking me up. But it took time because I was just.
Yeah, but that's cool. Like, let's start from the beginning. Like,
okay, so when you did Wake Up Now and all that.
Yeah.
Well, my brother here, he had probably like 9 jobs, like 9 jobs that lasted.
No, there was
like,
way more than that.
Well, 9 jobs that I could remember because you got fired so many times. But
you can't blame the guy.
Yeah, you know, like he couldn't really like hold a job. So it was kind of funny because he would like, you know, oh yo, Clive, I got it. Yeah, he calls me Clive. That's actually my like family name. But anyways, so he would be like, yeah, I got a job, and I'm like, yo, can you hold it this time? Yo, he's like, yeah. And then like it's always 2 weeks. Like, it's always 2 weeks. So his first paycheck, once he gets his first paycheck, it was just like, all right, he starts slacking. Either going late or like just doing like dumb shit, and then he would get fired. And then he opted into another job. Then he got fired. There was actually one job that he liked where he was actually like a teacher in a way. He like taught like little kids, like, you know, like he like played basketball with them. It was kind of like an after school program. He actually enjoyed that, but like he got fired because he slacked on getting his first aid. And he actually like, that was actually the only job he actually really liked. So it was kind of interesting that when he got fired, he was all feeling bad and whatever. So then he was just like, all right, you know what? It's time to like go another route. So he got into like Wake Up Now and that shit. Pyramid scheme, straight up. But
pyramid scheme. I was making somewhat money.
Yeah, but
I was tasting somewhat of a financial freedom.
Yeah, and
I was talking shit to all my friends and say, "Fuck your 9 to 5."
You know, he was doing well.
I was that guy.
He was always like that figure of like, he just liked teaching. So he was doing good. He's like an honest dude where like he just speaks and people want to just like follow. So he always had that like, you know, vibe to him. So like, you know, he had a team, you know, he was doing good. And then that shit kind of like, you know, crumbled because, you know, the backstory of that. Just like every pyramid scheme, it crumbles. So he started, you know, going into IML. He started like trading. Now this is what like.
Whoa! I did not jump into IML right away.
Not right away, but you started trading. Like you started like dabbling into it more. So, you know. And it was like all new to me, so like I would just see him like, you know, doing his thing, and I'd be like, yo, that shit looks like it's just crayons. Like, that shit was just crazy.
He said crayons.
Yeah, it was just scribbles.
You hear this guy?
No. So like I was just always just like, you know, you know, I could hold a job, so I was doing my thing, and I would just keep watching him, just like always just like on it. Like, and I would be just partying and bullshit, and so I'd be like, yo, let's go out. He's like, no, I'm just trying to like, you know, do my thing. So. That shit took a while, like, you know, that shit started manifesting, but when we started moving to AZ...
Whoa, you jumping the gun. Like,
yo, because there's not a lot to talk about.
No, we're going to talk about all that. You talk all about that. You ain't a little innocent. You're going to roast me, I'm going to roast you. That's how we're doing it.
All right, bet. Say what you gotta say.
Because Michael doesn't know. You can't just say you went from skipping that part and then you're just gonna go to jump to AC.
We talk about you.
Yeah, but we're also talking about you.
Yeah,
What made you started to hit the gym? Like, let's show everyone that.
Oh
side.
man, sheesh.
Yeah, and how
All
I
right.
roasted the fuck out of you.
Okay, so this dude, oh man, he would always clown me. I would always go up to him because like I'll be like,
Wait. Before you go there, came back from school. This dude was throwing house parties because he wanted to copy off my footsteps.
Okay,
right?
look.
Because I do bangers.
No.
and
I'm gonna tell you
and,
this.
And didn't get caught by cops like
no.
he did.
I shut the hell up.
No.
Look.
So he called
I
me.
was always no. Let me talk. I was always under his shadow. Like
Yup.
they would always be. He was a star
massive-
athlete. No, he was a star athlete.
It was a massive shadow.
No, shut the fuck up. He was the star. No, he was the star athlete, and I was always like, "Oh, yes, your little fat brother. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the big one, the fat one."
Yeah.
And I hated that so much. It was always like, he's always the popular guy playing ball, He plays sports, and I was just the little fat brother. So I couldn't stand it. And it was like this one time. It was like I had a crush. And she goes up to me. I'm like, I think you're cute. And she's like, oh, no, you have a double chin. I don't like that. That shit hit me so hard.
Reality check.
That's bam. It hit me so hard. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to lose weight. Like, So I really tried. Like, I remember, like, I was so out of shape, that I had to run around the house, like, literally, like, one lap, and I would die. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and I told my little brother, I'm like, yo, look at this fat boy. Like,
The first day that I started, my mom brings KFC, and I'm over here like fighting it. I'm like, no, I need to stay strong. And this is where it all began.
And then I started eating a chicken nice and slow in front of him.
Yo,
I was like, you like this thigh? I was like, ooh,
So
look at that bow. I'm like, giving him a full rotation.
No, it would be like, I started running around the house 5 times, 10 times. Then I started just eating cleaner gradually. Then I started running around the neighborhood. Then I started running around the city to the point where I'm like over here just running. I felt like Forrest. I just started running, losing weight.
There was no Jenny.
I was eating clean to the point where like I lost 80 pounds. I think I lost like 85 pounds in like 5 months. It was
disgusting.
ridiculous. And I had like
Disgusting.
crazy amounts of extra skin. Yeah. I got so thin. I remember I went back to school.
No. I did not recognize you.
Yo. No, he would always climb. He always like titty flop me in the
so,
ice.
It was a little joke. It was like my way of saying I made it to the NBA. So I'm like, hop step, play with the titties.
No,
slam
I would
dunk.
get so mad. You know when you just like the little brother, you get so mad. I'd be like, I would get so mad. I couldn't do anything. I'd get so mad. So like I lost all that weight, like I was all like thin and whatever. And I'm like, yo, this looks gross. Like I could like pull my skin because I lost weight way too fast. But it was like crazy because it was like, wow, like I'm thin. Like this is crazy. So I literally started using the iron gym. Like I was just literally just, every single day just doing pull-ups. And like in 3 months, like I went to school. They're like, yo, Clive, your arm is getting big. And I'm like, oh, really? You know what I mean? Yeah, that's where all the attention started. I was like, okay, all right. So I'm like, I'm gonna sign up to Planet Fitness, like, whatever. So I started doing my thing, and like after like another 3 months, I really started like putting on size, started getting tighter and everything. And then another 6 months, I'm like really getting big, and then Ken's over here like, yo, you're getting big, and he was just scrawny, because Ken was thin, like Michael Blackson thin, like he was thin.
I was like, I'm not playing basketball no more, so I've been always that guy. I was always in shape.
Like he was always like a lean,
all right, so what am I gonna do?
Dwight Howard shoulders, always.
That's when he was, in the other side. So I hated that comparison.
So then he was just like, yo, like I started getting to a point where I started getting like big, and I was actually looking pretty good, and he was just like, yo, and then I started clowning him. I'm like, yo, you're a skinny shit. You know what I mean? You're a skinny boy. And he's like, all right, I bet. I'm like, yo, come to the gym. So he's like, all right. So he started doing his thing. He started eating because he used to never eat. Yeah. Like, yo, this dude would not eat.
I used to raid the fridge. Like when my mom loves apple pie, man. that shit will be gone. I'll leave the container in the fridge. I was that guy.
Yo,
My brother hid sweets.
Who does this? Yo, he's such an asshole. Look, he would get a whole thing of Oreos, empty, and put it back in the cabinet. So then when we go, thinking we could have Oreos, it's empty. He would do that all the time.
So you know what? That should have been the motivation to the point to where you're like, I want an Oreo, I can't eat it. Ken just allowed me to force myself not to eat that shit.
Nah, like
I'm weak.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, so then I started inspiring him, and like we started going to the gym. Like he started taking, a protein bar. He started eating more. This dude was over here eating like 5 packs of ramen noodles, like trying to he's like, I'm trying to put on size. And then like for 3 months, he blew up. So everyone's like, yo, how do you go from sticks to a cucumber? Like, you know what I mean? That shit's crazy.
He said sticks to a cucumber. Wow.
Yo, I think we have to say nothing on this podcast. Wow. I'm so entertained right now.
No. And then there was like this one picture. It was so funny. Like, people are starting to see us getting swole, like doing our thing. This dude takes a picture. His legs look like it's disappearing. He was like upper body, and then his legs literally disappeared. So people will comment, look at those legs though. Yo, Ken's face.
Is that the picture where he had like the white shirt?
Yeah, in the jeans. Because he would always skip leg day. Yo, guys, don't skip leg day. I'm telling you. Don't skip leg day.
I was out here looking like a popsicle stick.
Like it was so funny. The comments.
Those fruity popsicle sticks where you could break the two? Yeah, that was me. So I was like, wow, this is not going to fly. I was like, I started working on leg days like twice a week, going heavy, like eating like I belonged in jail. So he started doing 2-a-days, and he started getting his legs bigger, and then I'm like, all right. And then he saw me. He's like, I'm just trying to catch up, And I'm like, yo, I helped him with his meal plans. I helped him, really, because I started because I'm, self-taught. I basically just learned as I, went. I didn't, look up different things. I literally just, I'm still learning. People think I'm, an expert, but just that, the work we put in is just crazy. When people tell me, how did you get like that? I'm like, yo. I tell them my regimen. Oh, nah, can't do that. Can't do that. So
this whole time that you're going through all this, you're seeing Ken do what he's doing. Yeah. You're starting to hit the gym. What are a lot of the challenges that you actually faced in there that you had to tell yourself, look, I need to overcome this to be who I want to be?
I mean, I went through a lot of different,
obstacles.
Yes. I used to be, it took me so long to mature. I'm not going to lie. Ken really helped me, see a vision. And it took me a long time because I was always a problem child. I got in so much trouble. When I say trouble, I got my family kicked out of, I'm talking about, in the past when my mom and us, we used to struggle. So we used to live in shelter home to shelter home. And I would get us kicked out from pushing a kid off the bed. He hits his head, or from stealing people's food and at school. By the way, I'm a big foodie, and I guess I just always
don't forget the number one prize. Explain that issue.
Oh, so I would hustle these little kids. When it came to taking their lunches, I was promising this dude, yo, I got you with Red Sox tickets, whatever, but you got to give me a lunch every single day, and I got you. So he's like, yeah, when you got me? I'm like, I got you in 3 months, and then he's giving me his lunch,
You did this all for food.
All for food. He finally told his mom. My mom came. She's like, oh, He's like, yo, we're going to have to, suspend your son, She's like, what? She's like, Clive, why do you always do these things, over food? And I'm just like, yo. Yo, food has been a lot of, it's been a lot, I struggle with eating a lot when I was younger. That's why I was such a big.
No, explain the issue.
Hold on.
That our mom had to get involved.
Hold on. So you do your thing for cash bread, and he did this shit for bread.
I was trying to hustle and trying to find an identity. That's what I was trying to find.
And
but this dude out here was doing the opposite.
Yeah, I was there was a time when I was 14 years old. I was 14 years old. My mom actually kind of saved my life. She kind of helped. It could have been worse, because they could have had that evidence. Anyways, So like I had a video camera and like, you know, I was always like doing stupid shit. And damn, really about to say this? All right, so I was 14. So I like videotaped like myself, just like I had a friend and like I was over here motorboating her and da da da. And
way overdeveloped for that age.
and I was just like doing like, you know, dumb things, whatever. And then I was like, ah ha ha. And she was like, oh, whatever. I left the camera in my friend's house and I was like, all right, da da da, and I left. So for some reason, I guess they're like the mother of my friend went through the camera. Like it's so random. Why are you gonna go through the video camera? It was random. So she goes through the video camera. Then she
that was a reaction.
She watches it, calls the girl's mom, and then boom, 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 all that shit happened. And then my friend called me. He's like, yeah, like we're in big trouble, da da da. And I guess they called my mother, and they're like, yeah, you know, your son did something really bad, da da da. We're gonna have to like come together and talk about this. And my mom's like, what's going on? So she goes over there, and they were like, oh yeah, da da. This is what she did, and I'm just like over here sitting down. My mom's looking at me like, another. Oh, look at you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't send you no message. That's what she would always say. I didn't send you no message. Because I would always do something dumb. And that's what she says. But anyways, and then she looks through the camera and then she sees it, obviously disappointed. And then the mother goes, so we're just gonna like, yeah, you know, we're gonna just keep this, you know, just for evidence. Like, just keep it, whatever, da da da. And my mom's like, you're gonna keep it? For what? What do you have to keep it for? Da da da, you know? So then, like, that protective, like, mindset came through. And she's like, you know what? Let me see the camera. And, like, she took the camera. She's like, oh. She takes the tape and she rips it apart. And they're like, no. Da, da, da. And I'm like,
why are you saying no?
I'm like, what? What's going on here? I'm just like,
keep you in your back pocket?
And
he wanted to keep his first experience with some boobies.
Yeah, and then my mom, like, I was so confused. Like, I'm like, why do you do this? She's like, oh, so then when you turn 21, they have something that they could bring upon you when you're successful later in life. Da, da, da. I'm like, oh, wow. And then I'm like.
Delusional, as usual.
So your mom, through all this stuff, still sees the future of success in you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I don't mean to be sarcastic or anything with that. I'm asking that as a serious question because, I mean, I know through just knowing you two that she's y'all backbone.
Yes,
right?
Definitely.
So, you know, like for me, I think that's something to kind of take away that no matter what, I mean, you've got people in your corner that are always going to believe in you.
Yes.
Right?
Definitely.
So you had him to look up to. You had your mom that supported you no matter what. It was just more or less, correct me if I'm wrong, it was on you to make the change when you were ready, right?
Yeah. And it took a little bit because for some reason, me and my mom are like, we're kind of like the same. So we never really got along. Like, so I feel like I would always, like, even she tried to like take us out of like, you know, the bad areas that we would live in. And then when she finally did, I would always go to the bad areas. Like, I don't know. Like, it was just like, you know, I felt comfortable there. I don't know. I think I always like feeling like, you know, yeah, I'm ahead of everyone in that sense.
Do you think that was you trying to prove yourself to yourself, or do you think that was, you know, you're just you being gravitated to something because there's something within yourself that you were missing? Like, what do you think actually caused you to go against what your mom tried to take you out of at points?
I feel like I just I was naive. I feel like all those people who I thought like they're the ones were like always supporting me, because I always felt like left out from the family because I was always the problem child. So I guess I felt like, oh yeah, that's where I belong. Like when I was younger, I felt like that's where I belong. And I feel like I felt comfortable there. So, and everyone there made me comfortable. So that's what I was always used to. So when my mom was like, you know, like finding her success and like things were getting better. Like
this is when she was doing Mary Kay.
Yeah, when she was doing Mary Kay, and I always felt like you know, it's whatever. But I would always go to where the trouble is all the time, and you know, Ken would tell me over and over again. Obviously, I ignored it, and I got into a lot of like pretty bad situations to the point where my mother had to move from where we were to another city, which she thought was good, but then it kind of like was like,
yeah, it fucked me over.
Yeah, you know, and it was like a repeat, like it was like repeated. I went back, I met people that are bad influences, and it was just like all over again. So
this dude was going to to someone's trap house while we're living in a nice house that's been built from the bottom up.
Yeah.
And this dude will come in smelling like trash. So I
like,
look at him. I'm like, what the fuck is that smell? And he was like, oh, it's Vinny's house. I'm like, that's how they smell like?
Yeah.
Name drop.
I was like, oh, Lord. So I'm like, man.
Like, you know, and then I got like, you know, caught up in like a lot of even badder situations where like I started selling weed. And I started like just doing things that I shouldn't be doing, but it was just like, yeah, this is a cool lifestyle, but it wasn't the lifestyle for me. Cause I felt like I always had like I was being like somebody that I wasn't, because like I'm just goofy, love having fun, I like have a good vibes, but like I was just so trapped and to be like that I didn't even realize who I really was.
So through all of this, when do you think you found your actual identity?
I think when I moved to AZ and I started like seeing Ken really progress and seeing like him like level up mentally, and like him seeing that, I was just like, yo, like time is going and I'm getting older, and like you know, he keeps telling me, he would always like tell me different things, and I would just, you know, oh yeah, nah, I'm gonna keep partying, doing my thing. But then I started thinking to my head, I'm like, look, I can't depend on anyone. The only person that's gonna reach there is me. So I need to get my act together and I need to make changes. So honestly, moving to AZ, going through experiences with like friends and realizing that like I'm in a point where like I have to mature and I have to find my passion and I need to move forward to that. So like it took me a while to get into trading, because I always felt like, oh yeah, that's not for me, like that's not for me. I'm just gonna keep doing what I gotta do. But like not realizing that like you could use that as a vehicle to do what you really want to do. Like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, trading is my passion, I love trading, yeah, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I like it enough because I know that's gonna be the tool to do what I really want to do. So that's why I was just like, you know what, I jumped into it, you know, started like, you know, doing pretty well to the point where I could like quit my job. And then I started realizing like, wow, and like being around Ken even more started inspiring me, and I started making even better decisions. And it started like, you know, started doing things that like I didn't normally do before, because I used to just bullshit and just, you know, live in the moment. But like now it's just like, oh, my whole mind switched.
Yeah, but before all that, because when you started to see how my mindset started to evolve, first of all, let's start from when living at the W6 days, leaving out from there, and you hit me up, and I'm over here at an EDM concert.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, why you doing all that white stuff? Like, yo, what is that? Why you listening to that one beat song? Do. Like, I was so mad at him. I'm like, yo, we listen to hip hop, like ignorance. Like, it's so crazy, because in the East Coast, we just thought like, you know, it's just hip hop and this and that. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't. So when we listen to like house or whatever, we're like, no, that's white people music. Like, you know, like it's just crazy how like when you're just in that like place, like that everyone thinks the same, you're just gonna think that's what it is till you actually experience it, and then you see the culture of it, and then you see like what it does and the vibes, and then you're like, oh wow, you know, like there's a lot of new things that I got introduced to in AZ, and I think that's what really brought out my personality, because like all these things that I would never even think of doing, like hiking and doing all these like different things, like being in water, like. You know what I mean? Like I hate the water.
This dude started after I put him onto the whole EDM scene and stuff like that. And then he went to his first show. He was just like, so I told him, I'm like, how was your first experience? He was like, it's so mind blowing. But for me, the way how I took it is that it kind of like really unlocked another part of like my mind that I wasn't fully aware of.
Yes, definitely.
So I became more adapted to handling self-awareness, being more patient, learning that adversities is always going to either build you or break you, you know, how to control my emotions. So anytime that I did roll, yes, I am saying that, I never had a cool down. So I would be functioning in such a phenomenal rate. Like there was one time, like I remember I was telling my brother, I think I rolled, and it was like a really strong drug. And everyone else was having a come down, right? And I'm just like hyper energized.
This dude is over
I
here
called him
like,
at 4 a.m. I'm like, yo, guess what I'm doing? Like, I rolled to the Tesla. I'm like, I'm going down to the gym and banging out shoulders. He's like, what the fuck? Mind you, I was over here dancing with a mop and a computer chair. And I was having a great fun old time. Like, people think I'm crazy, yeah, but like I enjoyed it though. But the funny thing is that I remembered everything. So when I told my brother, he was like, "Yo, what the hell?" So and then he tried it and then unlocked his, his part of his mind, and he started learning how to shuffle.
Yeah.
Like,
Yo, I didn't think I could ever.
Shut down.
Yep. He didn't go on YouTube, didn't do anything.
Didn't do nothing.
There's a Snapchat video of him like it's funny as fuck because it's like a really basic tutorial.
Like I couldn't even like move.
It was stiff as hell.
Like people were like, "Yo, you're too swole to shuffle or move like that." I'm like, "Yo, look, I'm self-taught. I taught myself how to dance. No mirror or anything. Like I literally just move, and I just felt it. Like, oh yeah, that looks good. You know what I mean? I'd be like, ooh, ah, you know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, like I just be.
Everybody, I just that one.
But like with the shuffling thing, like it took like I was so determined. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna be the first swole ass dude that could shuffle. I don't care. I'm gonna keep doing it. Boom, boom. I kept doing it, practicing. Like I would hit the gym, hour session, shuffle. Hit the gym, hour session every single day.
So when I was watching him doing that, it's like it made me like reflect on how I'm so passionate about trading. Like I wanted to be the best. I wanted to prove that, like I'm an athlete, I could still have that athlete driven mindset, but correlated into trading. As he had that passion of like he wanted to prove himself of being swole to able to shuffle. So like we always kind of like had that adversity feeling that not only just to prove to others, but we wanted to prove within ourselves that
challenges. Like
yeah,
I'm always
challenges is what escalates you to become the better version of yourself.
Yeah, I always set a goal and I just push. Like I just set a goal and I just push to where. Like I always have that mentality. Like I like that drive. Like oh look, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be the best at it. He has the same drive, and so that whole thing with the shuffling thing started, and then I got pretty well with it. And I'm like, okay. And like the whole thing with bodybuilding, that was just out of the cut. Like I'm gonna tell you exactly how it all started from like how I even got into bodybuilding. I would wake up. This is the time when I used to party and bullshit so hard. I would like get super drunk, wake up at 6 a.m., go on a stair stepper on high speed, do an hour cardio, and work out. And I would do that every single day. And there would be people watching me. They would always come up to me like, how do you just run, like sprint on the stair stepper like that? It's for an hour. It's amazing. And I'd be like, I don't know, I just do it. Like, I challenge myself. I'm like, I want to like conquer this. And I know I can. People be like running on the stair stepper for like 10 minutes. Oh, my legs are tired. I'm like, you know what? I'm about to just like be different. I'm about to just do something that that's the reason why my legs even look like this. Cause I'm telling you, that stair stepper puts in work. But this is a coach, like he came up to me. He was just like, like I see you every day, like just every morning. You just so intense on the stair stepper. Like, what do you do? And I'm just like, I just do this just to be in shape. Like, I just like challenging myself. And he's just like, he's like, you should put that. He's like, have you ever thought of bodybuilding? If you put that energy and that work ethic to bodybuilding, I feel like you could do really well. And I'm like, I don't know, like I never really thought of it, but I'll give it a try. And he's like, yeah, there's an expo happening this weekend. You could come by, like, and I'm like, all right.
So my brother comes home and is telling me this bullshit. And I'm over here just laying on the couch, and I'm like, and he's like, yo, bro, like, I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
like,
cause
so I'm like, I'm not paying $60 to go to no fucking expo, like, so I end up going. I'm like, oh, pretty cool. Like, you know, they're giving out free stuff. I'm like, all right, free 99. I'm here for it.
Now we go in there, and mind you, this is like no diet. I was just eating what I want, drinking every weekend, but I was still on point with the gym. Like, we were still going to the gym, still putting down like 8,000 calories a day. Like, I was always just excessive with everything. I was always just
all those eggs and
I would put like 8 eggs. I would make like I would eat like 10 ounces of chicken at once, and I put a whole thing of ground beef and just put broccoli.
Ground beef
eat the
and
whole
eggs.
pack of ground beef.
Every morning.
So bad.
Crack. We going to the gym.
The turkey ground beef, I'll cook the whole thing, and I'll be like, I'll split it in half, not even counting, like, there's so much that I've learned, like, you know, with portion size, but like, I would just eat the whole thing in one sitting. Let's get it. And go to the gym. And this is when we never took protein. We never took pre-workout. Like, we didn't even start that till like, just like last year. Like, we used to just go to the gym, I always just had enough energy because I'm just really hyper, you know? I'm just really energetic. I always have so much energy. So I'm like, we don't need no pre-workout. We never even took protein. So when I told my coach that, he's like, you look like that. You never taken protein before? That's crazy. And then I introduced him to my brother. He saw my brother. Wow, this is crazy. You guys could be really something. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, let's give it a try. So I'm like, all right. So he gives us this meal plan. So we're 32 weeks out from our first show. 32 weeks out. Now,
longest prep.
Like ridiculous. It was basically transforming our body into like bodybuilder mode and then like start prep.
So that was actually like a year ago this month.
Yeah.
Because it was March where you had the actual show,
Yeah,
right?
so but we started in August of last year.
So
last year? Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is crazy. I got to witness that whole shit.
Yeah, like, you know.
I didn't realize that it was like that.
While I was running a company.
And look, when I told you, I was so focused, just like everything I do, I want to be the best at it and I'm going to be strict. I don't care what's going to happen. Let's get this. So I literally was so on point from ounce to grams, and then I made his meals, my meals, his meals every single day.
Oh, I know all about ounces and grams, bro.
But so yeah, we stuck on point. Like everything that my coach said, we did. And then when we were like 6 weeks out, we were show ready. Like we were already show ready, and it was to the point where it was just like me and Ken were just dying. Like Ken was over here trying to run his company, and we were just like
So there's some things though that I know for a fact that we skipped in between, and that was at the time where when he had all those jobs and he'd go 2 weeks, whatever it was. What was it, 9, 12 jobs, whatever it was.
12 jobs.
There was at a time where he was locked in a room doing his trading, and it was it was you that was supporting him, right?
Yes. Okay. All right.
So
I'm gonna tell you.
I think this kind of speaks overall to that brotherly bond. I mean, you guys are a couple fucking goofballs.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you guys have a bond that is absolutely crazy tight. You know what I mean? He was a role model at one point. Then you stepped in to help him out, and now where you guys are at together, it's absolutely crazy where you're at now.
Yeah.
But let's talk about a little bit back then when it was you that was
Okay. So Ken moved in with his roommate. Like his roommate was telling him, we're gonna go to the gym together. We're gonna, look at charts together. And Ken was all for it. He's like, yeah. I just want to move out of my mom's house. So he went there. Ken had no car, no nothing. Hasn't even had a car yet. Never had a car. Ken never had a car, ever. His first car was his Volkswagen, and he had it age, 26? Like that was his first car, a Volkswagen at age 26. And I always had a car. I was actually, let's go this a little bit. I was always grinding, like work-wise, that I had my first car. I had 5 cars, and I was always like good. I always made enough money, but I was good.
Let's talk about the first car. While I was in college, and my mom calls me,
brand new car.
She's like, bought my brother a car, and I was tight as fuck. I'm like, I'm going to school, and I can't even get a damn car, like to come back from New Hampshire to go to the Mass. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then not even like a year, this dude totaled it. Like Like, it was so bad, it couldn't even be, like, repairable.
I let a girl drive my car because I was too lit. That's why.
So, do you think of that situation, though, Ken, a little differently now? Like, to the point, hearing this, and it's like, Clive was, going through his transformation while you were still doing your thing, that maybe that was something that's like, hey, let's get Clive going here because Ken is already starting to do what he's doing. That independence is already there. Yeah. Now it's about bringing up Clive, and then it's going to be, Noah. So in that sense, it's like she had a direction to say, hey, this is where that attention kind of needs to be, because at that point you were already coming into yours. Does that make sense?
Yeah. My mom always knew.
Do you guys kind of think that like that's where it was coming from?
Yeah, definitely. But when he was like, he went to the Mesa, and I was over here living with 7 different dudes. We got a huge house, and I was living with 7 of my friends. Biggest mistake in my life. But
why?
I just wanted to leave my mom's house and be like, oh yeah, this will be cool. I'm gonna be living with my friends, and it's gonna be cool. And we got a good deal, and I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. But it was a disaster. But that was when I was working overtime to the max. Like, I was going to work because I used to be a caregiver. I used to work with people with disabilities. And I did that for a long time. I enjoyed doing it too. And I did a lot of overtime trying to pay rent and just handling everything. And Ken, I would call him and I'm like, yo, everything good? He's like, yeah, haven't been to the gym in like 3 weeks. I'm like, oh, word? Yeah. He's like, yeah. I've just been in the room just looking at charts,
listening to Drake.
Yeah, just listening to music, but he was locked in the room.
No, it wasn't locked. I locked myself in the room. I had a little puppy that I was able to play with. That was my only interaction with. Yeah. Everyone in that house was just weird. So I never turned on the lights. I was bumping Drake, probably every album. That kept me sane. I was drinking Bang energy drinks back to back. And then I had to go and walk to Walmart because that's where it was the only closest grocery store. So I used to come to the house with big ass grocery store bags and walk, and people were like, what the fuck? Like, this dude out here walking, and so I was like, I had my AirPods on, I was focused, I didn't allow no distraction, didn't socialize at all with the people that I was living with. There was one occasion that one of the roommates, they actually had some sexual intercourse in the bathroom, and I was like, yeah, this is very weird.
Bro, but there was hurt in your voice when I called you. It was just like you were struggling.
Yeah, it was like struggling. Now I was giving my mom money as well too, so like that's when I was giving out like fire signals, but I wasn't taking half of them.
Yeah.
So my priority was,
you don't even know. Ken was a broke boy, straight broke boy.
I wouldn't say broke, but I wouldn't say broke, but I was broke. There's no way to go about it.
He's pride. He's like, I wouldn't say broke.
No.
Okay. Yeah. But so he was like, I was like, all right, look, let me go pick you up. I was just gonna go pick him up to just go to the gym because he's like, I haven't been to the gym in almost 3 weeks. I'm like, all right, cool. So I go, I'm like, I'm here. He walks out. I've never seen Ken look so hurt. I've never seen anyone lose so much size. I looked at him. I'm like, oh, hell no. Nope. You know what? Just move in with me. I'm going to handle it with the roommates.
It was so depressing. Like, my brother kept talking about it. I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up. I was like, I get it. Yes, I lost size.
Like, he was so thin. You just could tell, you could just tell the pain in his face. And I'm like, yo.
You see, the bone structure. Like, I was like, I felt like I was fasting. For no reason.
So what I would do, so when I picked him up, I'm like, yo, move all your stuff. You're getting out of here. So
I made up that excuse.
Yeah.
With the dude that owns a freaking crib. Well, technically he doesn't because he had a special connection. And he was like, hey, no, don't worry. He's like, what is it? Basically lied to him saying like, yeah, my mom needed help. It was just like my excuse to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
So got out there, What were you doing?
Okay, so I told the roommates, they're all like, "Oh, well, he gotta pay rent." I'm like, no, I got it. I'll pay extra, whatever. Da 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 da. So this is what we would do every morning because we had one bed. So I would wake up but early because I woke up at like 4:30 in the morning, 5, go do cardio. I would do cardio every single day before I go to work. Go to do cardio, go to the gym, boom, 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 go to work. And then when I leave, he would that's when he gets to sleep on the bed. And then when I come back, it's like very late at night because I do overtime. So I'll be back at like 11:30 at night and I see him over here giving out calls, doing his thing. That's what he was doing the whole time. Just on it, sessions. So we would do that repeatily, and then I'll go get.
That's when I was on sessions with it.
Yeah. And
all Blue Zone.
And it's so funny because we would get I would just buy all the food. I'm like, look, I'm just gonna get all the food. I'll make sure you're eating whatever. I go to work, you can sleep when I go to work, and we just kind of had that
I'll sleep on the couch.
Yeah.
Long ass, deep,
and
deep
my roommates.
couch.
My roommates would be like, yo, Ken is just not even doing it. He's like over here just sitting there on his computer. Da, da, da. I'm just like, yo, he's doing what he's got to do. He's just like, yo, he's not going to go anywhere with that. Is he even really making money? And I would never forget that. Because all my roommates, they were just they had ambition. They had goals. I hate when people say goals.
I hate that word.
I hate it so bad because they'd be like goals. But they never do anything to work towards their goals. They just say goals and go back to doing their same bullshit. Yeah. And then life goes on.
Mine, don't forget, while I was on the charts and everything, sleeping on the couch, all of their roommates were playing Fortnite.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Literally playing Fortnite. And I remember one of the roommates was like, hey, man, I want to get my printing, shirt business off the ground. They're like, oh, this is a mansion that we're going to live. Yeah, so I go upstairs and I was overhearing a conversation. And I was at the point that I love to manifest, and I was manifesting a lot of things that I wanted to do to get myself in a better situation. And I go upstairs, I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Well, you guys are talking about you guys are going to live here? You Uber Eat everything.
Yeah, this
never ordered.
He Uber Eat for 6 months, did not even cook one thing in the kitchen. I've never seen. He went through his whole trust fund on Uber Eats. Crazy.
That's a problem.
Yeah. So
crazy.
We're like, what? So you guys are over here talking about ambitions and goals, and this is your daily habits? I'm over here have no car. I'm over here starting to mentor people for $150 and giving out signals, still being a part of, the company I was a part of. And you guys want to talk about you guys are grinding? Yeah. I was like, oh, hell no. So I took that as really disrespect. I'm like, you guys are disrespecting your own time, your own presence, and probably to your parents, So I'm like, all right, watch. I told him, I'm like, look, training's gonna take me big levels. Watch. You guys are gonna see the journey. And then when it does happen,
I'll never forget. Like I said, I even told Alex, I'll never forget the day when me, you, and our other friend, we went to Old Town. We went to Scottsdale.
Yeah, and we thought we were cool.
No,
we
hey,
Old Town. We're like, hey,
we were all broke boys, not really making money. We go
checking my mobile app and it's only
$26
in my checking account.
Yeah, always checking. When I buy a drink, I'm like, oh, let me check my bank account.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I used to thought buying a drink at the buying a drink at the bar was so expensive. I was like, I'm never buying drinks at the bar. Now the case is whatever you gonna buy a bottle. Cool.
No, people just buy us drinks because we just
just
lit. We're just a good time. We're over here hey. Anyways. So we went to the W because our friend had a card, one of those cards where we could go to up to the pool party. So we're like, oh really? This is cool. This is where all the we can see a celebrity. So we go up there and Ken looks. We look at everything and look what we're wearing, look at everyone. And Ken's like, we don't belong here. We shouldn't even be here. Ken's like, I don't feel like I should even be here. We can't do none of the things that they're doing. And Ken's like, you know what? I'm not coming back here. The next time I come back here, I'm going to be living in Old Town and I'm going to have a business. Yo, he spoke that to existence. I can't believe it because it was 6 months later, he was living in Scottsdale. He had a business. And I'm like, wow. I was like, wow, okay. So I will never forget that day because it was like kind of like a big day for like even me because I'm like, yo, like you really spoke that to existence. So that's why like now everything I do, I'm just like, I always keep reminding myself, this is where I need to go and this is what I'm going to do and I'm going to get there. And that drive that he had just inspired me to just keep pushing. So now, like, I'm on that, like, road where I'm like, yo, if you're not part of that road and you're a distraction, bye-bye. Let's keep going. So that's that little story. So let's get back into the, when we were, like, when I was living in the apartment. I remember the day he called. He's like, yo, like I just, like, those two business partners. He's just like, yeah, like, I'm gonna start something, bro. Like, everything's starting to pay off. I'm like, oh, yeah? He's like, yeah. Like, and he's like, you know, I want to see everyone win. Ken had this mindset, like, you know, he didn't realize that there's just bad people in the world. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't realize that. And, like, my mom did it because my mom, you know, she was the same way. Like, you know, she really, like, liked to help. You know, she, like, always thought if she, you know, gave and, you know, she did good, she would get in return. That wasn't the case at all. So, you know, Ken's, you know, he's a good dude. Like, he's really, like, he literally just wants to see everyone win.
I observed what she did. Like 50% of it.
Yeah.
And then 50% was having a big heart.
Yeah. You know, and
helping everyone.
And, you know, he did what he did, you know, he tried to like, you know, do good, but like, you know, people really took advantage of him because, you know, it's his first business. He doesn't realize that, like,
Michael,
you know,
started to see it.
Yeah. He didn't realize that, you know, business is an ugly world. Like it really is, you know, and like all those lessons and all those like, everything that he's been through is really like shaping him and realize like you don't have to be just a terrible mean dude, but you gotta like be firm. You can't show like that weakness. You can't show weakness. You just gotta be firm and you gotta just, you know, do things like the right way. So like he learned from all that, and I even experienced all that. And I was even angry. Like when I first met his business partners, I'm like, yo, like the way they would just like give him compliments, unnecessary compliments, but like just to put him in his head like, thank you, you know what I mean? Just to ignore the fact that these dudes are literally just milking him under. And I'm like, yo, because the thing is, I'm really street smart because that's what I was like, you know, book smart, forget it. But I'm really street smart, so I know how to read people. So right when I first met them, I'm like, yo, Ken, red flag. And we had that discussion. I'm like, yo, the way they move, no. You gotta really start like investigating them. And as soon as he started investigating them, that's when everything started flip flopping. And then that's when like things really got like spicy. So, you know, after that business crumbling, you know, like a lot of people, you know, were talking bad about him. And I'm just over here hearing it. And I'm like, yo, these people don't even know the inside out. Like, I'm not gonna just sit here and explain everything from like how it really happened. You just got to keep moving forward. And those times, Ken was struggling, you know, Like, he really couldn't even afford everything, but he still kept to his craft, and he still kept being himself. So I was just there, like, yo, watching him. He's just like, yo, I don't know what to do, but, you know, I'm not going to give up. Like, you know, I got to take care of the family. This is me, and I can't give up. I got to keep doing it. I'm going to find a way. And, like, he just kept working on it. Then his trade started getting better because, yo, there was a period where he was just, everything was hitting stop loss. Like, people were just.
That month of July.
Yeah, it was just bad. Like, it was just like the struggle month. But, like, that, like, you know, he was always just like the household. Like, he, like, we didn't have a father growing up. So, like, he really kind of, like, kept everyone intact. You know, it took me a bit to, like, realize that. But, like, the more I start looking in the past, I'm like, wow, like, yo, Ken really, like, yo, if he wasn't really, yo, there was a time where I got arrested. Yo, Ken wasn't there to, like, help me out. It could have been so bad. And I didn't realize it back then. I was just like, oh, yeah, da-da-da. But, like, now that I know, like, Ken has always been in my corner, even through all the little bullshit that I have done. He's still, like, believed in me, and he still see the potential in me, and he still kept telling me what I got to do. So.
Well, and I think that solidifies that bond that I was talking about.
Yeah.
You know, where now being the age that you guys are, you guys can reflect on all the stuff that each individual has. Like, you have your own journey,
Yeah.
right? But guess where you guys are at still supporting each other, strong as ever, right? Doing your thing. and now you guys are both set up for success. You know what I mean? So everything comes to fruition. Everything goes full circle one way or another. It's just a matter of when everybody's going to hop on that train.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, I mean, I remember my time. I won't go into it, but I remember where my time flipped my whole mentality. And it's one of those things that never, ever will ever leave me because of how serious it was. And I think everybody has that type of a situation. There's always that light bulb that pops up, right? And there's a couple of times within this whole story that I've observed that you're talking about that I'm like, there, you know, he knew when his light bulb went off. Ken knows when his light bulb went off, right? And that's just the sign of the maturity to the point to where now you guys are ready for whatever's ahead of you guys in the future.
That's facts. But yeah, and you know, like with this whole like dancing thing and like our personalities, like Ken would always tell me like, yo, you gotta really start like, you know, branding yourself and like putting yourself out there, because you swole as shit. You could dance, you could do this, you could shuffle, yo, like, you know, you gotta really like put yourself out there. And I'm like, I keep like, oh yeah, but now I'm like, yo, I'm really gonna start moving forward with everything, like everything's just gonna be a brand, like from us getting our own gym and starting like all these different things. Like I'm gonna really just like put myself out there, because like now that before I was just distracted, you know, I had a lot of focus on other people and other things that I didn't realize that I gotta really focus on what myself. You know, I would always like try to help other people and be there for everyone else, that like I didn't realize that like, you know, I gotta really, you know, push myself to do what I really gotta do. And Ken would always tell me like, yo, he was like, yo, you know, this is not, bro, like this is the wrong way of doing it, or you gotta do this, like, or da. He'll give me advice, but he wouldn't like, he wouldn't like tell me what to do, but he'll be like, look, you know, like everything is through experiences, you know, you learn through experiences. So like I had to go through all those experiences to get to where I am right now. So.
Oh, and that's what makes up Clive.
Yeah, you know, feel me?
So right here, right now, what's your next step? Like, what's your next endeavor that you want to hop into for yourself?
Well, I'm trying to get my own gym, and that's why I started trading. Like, I'm trying to get my own gym, own apparel, protein line, pre-workout.
It's leak.
Leak's here. Can you let him in?
But yeah, that's the next project that I'm dabbling in, and the Forex is gonna set the road, be the vehicle to that.
And it's crazy where Forex like changes lives like that,
Yes.
right? So
yes.
I've always had a thing with numbers and patterns, so I kind of gravitated towards it. But speaking to where you were talking about, where you're like, trading wasn't a big passion of mine, but you're gonna do it, right? Now you understand it more, and it's like, holy shit, there's answers to my questions with this niche, right? This product.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's why I've always encouraged anybody, at least give it a chance, at least understand what it is before you make the decision, because a lot of people think it's a scam.
Yeah, you know.
It's not a scam. It's not for the weak.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's not for the weak.
It's like, it's not for everyone. You know, it just takes, like, you gotta just have the patience. You gotta so you really actually put in the time and, you know, everyone learns in their own pace. Like, you know, people think like, yeah, when I be hearing, oh, Ken, yo, how do you take 10,000 to 100K? Like, yo, Ken has so much experience. You know, he's been doing this for years. Like, you know, you can't have that mindset of, oh yeah, I'm gonna flip 400 to 10,000 right off rip. Like,
right. No skill set.
Yeah, you know, that's not the.
That's like you driving a vehicle with no license, or no license, having driving experience. Like you have to have experience for you to feel like you're fully confident, you know, to do the almost craziest things with the vehicle. Like, you know, so that's why I don't acknowledge those kind of people that think like life is a shortcut. Yes, there is shortcuts, but it's how you go about it that you apply that shortcut to getting to your destination. So that's why I never, you know, paid attention to those kind of people, because it just already tells me that kind of work ethic already as it is. Yeah. Lazy, they don't see it, they're not there for the journey. You know, like that's why I tell people you gotta embrace those losses as your wins, because those losses you're gonna learn so much more from the wins.
Oh yeah,
anyone could win, but who could actually apply from those losses that could give you a longer journey? That's what it really comes down to. Who's gonna live life the longest? Who's gonna experience the obstacles the longest, right? So that's what it really comes down to, and that's why the mindset is such a powerful thing.
Yes.
You don't have a strong mindset, you are gonna get eaten alive in this world. Like, so, and that's the reason why the strong people are the ones that are living the best life, because they took action, they knew the risks, they knew the responsibilities, they knew the accountability, you know, and they went all in. So
this is gonna be probably a super random question, but with everything that's going on right now, whatever it is, you know, COVID, the race shit, all the shit that we've talked about on our podcast, everything that you get to experience in your waking life.
Yeah.
What is it that keeps you staying on that positive path that you're always on?
I mean, I'm just, like I said, I'm just like a hyper happy dude, and I just like to, you know, give off good vibes. And I always tell that to everyone. I always want to just like, even though we're going through so much, you know, all this bullshit that we're going through, I just want to just you got to just keep your mind still in the air, like still like just keep a smile, still got to just do things that's going to keep you like moving forward. And that's how I am. Like, that's how I literally wake up and I'm like, today's a new day. Hey, you know what I mean? like I'm just always like that. And, you know, I rub that off Ken, and then like, you know.
I mean, I think that's a great piece of, like, a great way to think every morning. Like, you wake up happy, which
Yes.
tells me for yourself, at least for the lane that you're in, you're doing what you need to do.
Yeah.
You know, because if you woke up and you're like, oh shit, I gotta go do this.
Yeah,
Oh, I gotta go do
exactly.
this. You're not doing something right.
Yeah.
Something's wrong, so you change it. So if you wake up happy and being able to self-motivate yourself, you know what I'm saying, and continue on that path, I think that, that mindset, you've come a long way. Just hearing this story and just hearing his original one and whatnot, like, I give a lot of credit to you, bro. I mean, everybody's got their trials and tribulations, but some people fail at it. Some people just continue to stay in the same rut, and you chose something other than that. So, I mean, for the moral of it, as far as your thought process, I mean, if you could tell anybody one thing, what would you tell them?
I would say, like, even if you had like a rough past and, you know, like a lot of people telling you can't do this or that, you gotta look into yourself and, you know, see everybody that inspires you and tell yourself, like, if they made it, you can make it too. And when I look at Ken, even his success right now, I look at him, I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna get there too. My time is coming. And you gotta tell yourself, my time is coming, you know? You gotta keep that motivation high. You know, like, there's gonna be times where you're just gonna be like, oh, this is so hard. Like, when people be like, it's really, really hard to, like, you know, start my own business or do this and this. Like, what do you expect? Like, you know, you gotta go through the rocks. You gotta go through the dirt road.
Well, I mean, I think if life was easy, everybody would enjoy it.
Yeah, you know?
If the journey was easy, everybody would take it, you know? So
Yeah.
that's why we have people that are very successful and people that aren't. Some people just give up on that journey. So,
and it takes, like, what I always say, like, when people ask me, like, oh, like, it's so hard to get in shape, or like, what do I gotta do? I'm like, look, you gotta practice the mindset first. You can't just jump into a whole different lifestyle, because there's a whole different lifestyle if you wanna lose weight or reach your fitness goals. Like, people always tell me, like, they always come up to me like, yeah, like, I would do a diet for 2 weeks and da-da-da, like, I would lose weight and then, like, I'll gain it back. Like, I'm so inconsistent. Like, you gotta practice the mindset first. Like, you can't expect results in like 3 months. Like, no. Those 3 months is literally practicing, okay, this is a new lifestyle that I'm gonna live. And this is the things that I'm gonna have to start doing, because I don't normally do this. I don't normally eat 5 or 6 meals a day. I don't normally count my macros. I don't normally lift every day. You gotta practice that mindset first and then execute it. Like, that's what I tell everyone. I'm like, look, it's a journey. It's like a whole year transformation. It's like a whole year transformation. You're not gonna see it like quick. Right. Nothing is quick. Everything takes time. So practice the mindset first and then execute it. That's what I would say.
It's funny that you say 3 months because if I'm not mistaken, it takes 90 days to break a habit, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go. I mean, you say 3 months, 90 days. That's crazy you said that. So that's target that people need to have. That's a target that people need to keep in their mind rather than overnight success.
Yeah,
overnight success happens with the lottery, and it happens only to one person every now and then.
Exactly.
Right, and even then, those people don't even find success after that. So I think those are wise words. I think that's a lot of positivity that you gave out there, and a lot of value as far as your story goes. People can relate to that.
Yeah.
So, did you ever think that by telling that story that, I mean, you could be viewed as a form of a role model?
Honestly, no. I really no.
Because, I mean, people are going to watch this, I mean, the podcast gets watched fairly often, so you're going to be on there. People are going to be, this is Clive. Now I understand who Clive is. And then, boom, people are going to look at that. So, with me telling you that, how does that make you feel?
That I could inspire people? That is awesome. That's really awesome,
Wow. It's motivational.
But yeah, I'm glad that.
So for everyone that's been asking me, I get this on a daily. Does your brothers trade? Yes. They all
my little
trade.
brother too.
They have no choice.
He's actually getting good too.
Like,
so
at all.
You love gold.
Yes.
Right? Still?
Yeah. I love gold.
What does Noah love?
He be trading.
Don't tell me US 30.
No.
He likes UJ.
Yeah, he likes UJ.
Okay.
Yeah. I like oil too. I always like oil.
This man with the commodities.
That one time that we got on a Zoom call and
$650. Like
yo,
that.
I was like, that blew my mind. I was like, yo.
Sell it. Do. Oh, that's the easiest $650 I made in my life. That was weak.
Oh, man. Yeah, man.
All right. So I think we could wrap it up for episode 40. Damn. Episode 40.
You were part of a milestone
episode. 40 episodes.
I appreciate it, my guy. Thank you.
Right.
40.
Thank you.
Man, so you guys get to see how my brother looks like, obviously.
They see it.
By the way.
We get that sometimes. Sometimes people say that we don't look like shit.
Yeah, like some people are like, yeah,
or,
you and your friend.
Yeah,
I'm like, what?
I was like, I never knew that friends, you guys see like always together. Like I guess like, they're like, oh, that's your boy. I'm like, no, he's my brother. And then the ones that even follow us on IG.
I didn't know you guys were brothers. You've been following me
have the
for
same.
5
We
years.
have the same last name.
I don't think that was by accident.
No, it just shows the IQ level sometimes. But hey, who am I to judge? But yeah. So you guys enjoy episode 40, hearing the little background from my life and where my brother's going and how his mindset has currently changed. And make sure that you guys like and subscribe.
Hey.